Hey guys, it's Avisimp. Welcome back to episode 1 of Gutting It. Now, whenever a new Precon comes out, there, and rightfully so, are a ton of videos and content made all across the internet, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, any sort of short form content of people giving you a list of upgrades that you can use to upgrade a commander deck that you pick up. And this was true also for the new Strixhaven Precons that have been released. Now, I want to do something a little bit different. This series is called Gutting It. So if I have a commander precon that I pick up that I'm using for the sake of taking cards out to building something up, I would like to make a video on it and calling it Gutting It, because we're gutting a commander deck basically. But also to show you how design can change from a commander deck that you thought of previously compared to it being updated now a few years later. And that is where this first episode comes in with Shadowheart summonings. This was my Shadowheart list I made, as you can see, 3 years ago. Also, you can follow me on Architect at Astercaster. Now, this was made in December of 2023. The point of this deck simply was to use Shadowheart to sack Galta, reanimate Galta, and dump out all the creatures that you just drew, because you're going to be drawing 12 cards. Well, actually, 13 if Master Chef is out. You then sack Galta to Shadowheart, use one of our many recursion spells that we had here, bring Galta back, throw everything down that we just drew, rinse, and repeat. Now, things kind of changed when it came to the Witherbloom Precon then being introduced. I had gotten a few ideas. I was looking through the Precon, and I wanted to do things differently. And I want to show you guys that process on how I kind of go through and craft up some cards, theory craft, that sort of thing. I actually am in possession of all the cards that I want to use for my deck. And it's really just a matter of going through the list, finding out what will make it to the final deck, keeping it there, and moving on. Now, let's take a look at my original list so you can kind of see what I was going for. Like I said, the main point of this was to sack Galta, reanimate Galta, dump everything out. As you can see, I have a lot of high power creatures across the board. We have OG Galta, Primal Hunger. We have Yargle and Multani. I mean, that's 18 power. We had Enry's Forerunners to give us some trampling ability and finishing off the game. We have Rotting Regisaur, which was simply sacrifice fodder. Again, another 7 power. We had Rootscar Demon, which gets us a card, and then we can also recur it later and get another card, kind of constantly go through. Diabolic Tutor is my favorite budget tutor card. It does what every other tutor does. Sure, it's 4 mana, 2 black pips, but it always comes in clutch. It still always helps. Now, also, as you can see, Architect has us at a 4, and that's because there is an infinite combo in here with Mikaeus, the Unhallowed, and Triskelion. That is probably going to change with the new list, as I didn't pick up a Mikaeus. I do believe I have a Triskelion, though, but I don't think it makes it into the final list. So the recursion spells I have in here have since changed or aren't going to be in the final deck. We have different recursion cards. We have Defossilize here. Then we have other stuff just to give us other little things to sacrifice, which is now better with the new deck, or the new idea I have with Important Overlord. Because again, you can sack Important Overlord, draw 6 cards, reanimate it, get a bunch of Harpies out again. You can sack those Harpies. And thanks to a lot of the stuff we have in the Witherbloom Precon, we get more benefits for our sacrifice. So, this was a very simple deck. It was not also, obviously, we have Drain, Blood Artist, Grey Merchant, Poison Tip Archer, we had Sir Conrad, Zulaport Cutthroat, typical stuff you'd see in an Aristocrats build. We had Varls in here to give us some Scavenge, buff up our other creatures that are on the battlefield. We had crack one there. We had some like a small counter package because 1/1 counters kind of were here across the board. Again, Master Chef gives us 1/1 counters. Varls would help us out with that too because now everything would have scavenge. Obviously, with all the ETBs, the recursion that we're doing, I had Essence Warden in here to gain a life each time. Again, Essence Warden is a little bit better with what was introduced in Witherbloom. Because as we know, with the Witherbloom Precon, it gives us a lot of life gain in Gruul. And I do think it's really cool. I'm a sucker for life gain. I love life gain tactics. It was one of the first archetype. It actually was the first ever archetype I ever built on when I first started playing Magic forever ago. It was kitchen table modern basically. I had a mono white Ajani deck. I love Ajani. I love life gain. I loved mono white. It was a lot of fun for me personally. So that was the first ever deck I ended up building. My second ever deck was another mono white deck. It was a soldiers deck. A lot of Innistrad people in there. I love Innistrad. Again, my favorite plane. As you guys know, I am Avasimp because I love Avacyn. So we had a little. We have a few things. We have a lot of ramp. A lot of ramp in here. A lot of mana dorks, ramp spells. I always lean heavy on ramp when it comes to my green decks. Protection, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots. Corpse Charm. Just return something back to our hand. Again, just a little extra recursion. And then our land package, it's 2-color. I keep it very, very, very simple. But now basically we can use the mana base that we get in the Witherbloom Precon instead. And I do believe I might have an Overgrown Tomb still from Lorwyn that I can put into the deck. So see about that. Obviously, it's always good to have draw. So we had Fecundity in here. Just extra ways. Shadowheart does draw us cards. One thing I don't believe I included on this list was actually untap shenanigans. So, not a way to really use Shadowheart's ability more than once a turn. And I don't think the Witherbloom Precon has any of that either. So, we probably won't have any of that in our final list. It is something I could look into. We gotta see how the deck plays. Again, I'm trying to sack giant creatures to draw so many cards and then dump it out later. I don't think I have to use her ability more than once. Plus, we'll have the new Dina in the deck also, and we can just use Dina's ability to start pumping everything else up and gaining life. So, we had some extra stuff though in draw. So, we had Fecundity, we had Garruk's Uprising, Harvester of Souls, we had Master of the Feast. This was kind of just a sacrifice body. You know, it's a 5/5 flyer. Gives our opponents a little card advantage though. Probably not in the final list. I didn't end up picking this card up. And I don't think I don't have him in my collection. I opened up a lot of Theros. But Theros was my first ever pre-release. The OG Theros block was my first pre-release after I had been playing for a little bit already beforehand. Mold Divine Reclamation, Sign and Blood, and Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth, just very good card to have in any sort of deck where you want to sacrifice things. I did pick up a Yawgmoth. Sack outlets for Saracea here. We have Dipagoth Titan. Yawgmoth technically is a sack outlet in and of himself. So is Shadowheart. So that's kind of what we have going on here. So this is our little list. So now we're gonna switch it over. I'm gonna show you guys the process of looking through the Witherbloom Precon, finding cards that I want to take, leaving other cards out, and moving forward. So let's jump into that next. Alright, this is the second time I'm recording this section because for some reason, in the middle of me recording, OBS just transferred to another scene and did not record the entirety of me building out this deck. And words cannot describe how annoyed and upset I am because that was an hour of deck crafting. So we're doing this again. And we gotta kind of now speed run. Well, not speed run. Still Just gotta go through everything again. So, the first thing I want to do is add in the cards that I picked up for this deck because they are going to be in here regardless, which includes our Shadowheart Precon cards. So let me start adding them in. So Ancient Bronze Dragon. I know I can't spell. I typed too fast. We will get the correct printing here. Boom. Boom. Just so we have an accurate guide to the prints I am using. And then we have Beseech the Queen. Boom. Black Market. And we have Victimize. So add that in. Again, the printing we are using for Victimize is from the Shadowheart Secret Lair. I did pick up that Secret Lair, so that will go there. Next up, we did pick up both Galtas. So we have Primal Hunger and Stampede Tyrant because we want to do the loop where we sacrifice Stampede Tyrant to the Shadowheart or Primal Hunger. Either way, to draw a bunch of cards, dump out Stampede Tyrant either through Recursion or something else, and dump the hand of what we just drew. Next up, we have Cauldron of Essence. Feed the Swarm. And the printing is our Mystical Archives. Next up, Faded Return. Big mana. Big mana. Unhallowed Pact. Yawgmoth, Thran Physician, and we have the fancy borderless full art here. Oh. Alright, Diagraph Rebirth. I had to double check my OBS just now because, hitting buttons, I don't want it to, once again, ignore and not record. Zombify. Yargle and Multani. We have the stained glass printing. Reanimate. With our Prosperity Times printing. Essence Warden. Damogoth Titan. Damogoth Woe Eater. Defossilize. Abhorrent Overlord. And we have a foil printing of. Alright. I don't know if, like, what hotkey it is. I keep accidentally hitting stuff when I'm not typing, so I'm so paranoid that I didn't record the last one of me doing this. Return to nature. And then again, I just want the accurate printing. We have that in foil. Gray Merchant. Golgari Charm. Mozio. Professor Delian Fell. Emeritus of Woe. The Cruelty of Gix, which is a card you guys have seen me pull. Along with Archenemy's Charm. Both cards that I have pulled. Now, the next card is a card I did not pull that multiple times I said I wanted to pull. I did get him. I did, as I showed you guys, I just traded in that Spider-Man I was holding on to that just kept losing value. And to get a borderless foil Sephiroth. So the printing we have is this one. I did not. It's an expensive card. I didn't want to just toss it into the deck right away. I'm holding that off on the side. It's here on my desk actually, and we're going with this printing here that I have a proxy of. Okay, so we have the base cards that are in here regardless. Next, that what we want to do, shout out to Architect Precons here. We're going to copy the card names here. Oh, actually, we want to copy card names with quantity. We go in here. Ba 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 da ba ba. And then we do card actions, import cards. We enter that down there. We copy, paste, we hit save changes, and boom, we have 37 lands added to our deck. So we are at 69 cards. We have 69 cards to add in from our previous Witherbloom Pestilence Precon here. So we're going to take a look. We're going to add in some cards. Some cards that are going off the rip, though. I'm going to put them now. We have Arcane Signet and Soul Ring. Some maybe cards I had, it was Flare of Cultivation here, and we have Foggy Swamp Visions, which kind of gives us another way of some recursion. We actually could tap our tokens for that. Next up, what we want to add is Viscera Seer as a sack and as another sack outlet, and then Woe Strider. So you have some extra sack outlets here. Bellatrix Witherbloom we will add into the deck. Boom. Let's see. Blood Artist and Zulaport Cutthroat 2. And then we actually can look at my original thing here. We're not going to add Insert Conrad or Poison Tip Archer. We're going to stick with getting the rest of our stuff from here. Bloodghast is not making it in. Blossoming Bog Beast will, because we are going to be gaining life. So we're going to have Blossoming Bog Beast. Next up, we're going to add, sorry for the pause there, we're going to add the new Dina. Now let's take a look through the rest of the list we have here. So we have Defiling Daemogoth here. So we'll add Defiling Daemogoth in. We're gonna hold off on the original Dina. Eccentric Pest Finder, we're going to add to the deck. Easy to become prepared. And good ability to get us some extra pests. Elvish Mystic for the ramp, we will add. And honestly, for the ramp too, we're gonna put in. Originally, I didn't think I was gonna add Flare of Cultivation. We are gonna add Flare of Cultivation to this one. So I will put that to my little stack here. I think Flare of Cultivation would be good. Cultivate comes into the Precon, so we will add Cultivate also. Just a very obvious ramp spell. Just get some extra ramp. Gilded Goose, I think we're gonna hold off. We're gonna hold off on Guillaume. Gorma the Gullet we will add. Gorma the Gullets. Do. And then he is in foil. So we're holding off on Guillaume. Holding off on Haywire Might. We're gonna hold off on Jadar, hold off on Mazarek, hold off on Merchant of Venom. Hold off on Morbid Opportunist for now. Actually, Moldavine Reclamation was in our original list, so. The funny thing is about doing this the second time around, things are already changing again. I want to look and draw. Yeah, we had things a little bit different here. Michael Loth, we're going to add to give us some more saplings. That extra sacrifice. There. Ophiomancer is another card that we want to add. Let's see. Pest Rescuer we will, not Pawn of Ulamog. So we'll add that. What Pest Rescuer does, it's similar to Ophiomancer, where at the beginning of each upkeep, if you don't control a pest creature token, you create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. And if you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. So, very similar to Ophiomancer, just with pests instead of snakes. We make a few more pests. We make far more pests than we do snakes, however, so this might not always go off. We can always sacrifice to ensure we get this trigger going anyways. And that also gains us some life. Priest of the Forgotten Gods, very good card to have to force people to sacrifice. So we will add her in. Let's see. And just like that, we only have 11 cards left to add. And this is the problem we start to run into. So we're going to hold off on the rest of our creatures for now. Actually, we will add Stensian Sanguinist. Boom. Alright. So next up, we're going to take a look at our enchantments here. We already put in Moldar Reclamation. I'm not crazy on Trudge Garden. Feral Appetite, I'm not crazy on. Blight Mound, we didn't put in. Originally, Awakening Zone, I'm not crazy on. Assassin's Trophy for the removal, we will add. We're going to hold off on Infernal Grasp. We do go with Mortality Spear. So we added Mortality Spear. Plum the Forbidden. We will add Plum the Forbidden. Originally, I actually didn't add this. But I think I am going to put it in this time. Just to get an extra card draw. And then we will do Witherbloom Charm. And also Witherbloom Commands. So that puts it 9. We have 5 cards already left to add. Let's look at our types. So we have 29 creatures, we have 10 sorceries, we have 8 instants. Let's go back to our categories here. Deadly Brew is a card I definitely want to add. Casualties of War we're going to skip. Culling Ritual we're going to skip. We already have Cultivate in. We just added in Deadly Brew. Toxic Deluge has to go in. We have 3 cards left to add. Let's see. Kind of want to make sure we have 2 more creatures added in. So, Vainwitch Coven for the recursion. Sakura Tribe Elder for ramp. We have 1 card left. So who's gonna get that last edition? A Moral Bargain. And boom. This puts us at a core 2 bracket, which again we used mostly. We don't have game changers in here. It's a precon that we've gutted to add in with a lot of other cards we've picked up for this deck. So with the estimated bracket at a bracket 2, sure, I think it will play above that. I think this is a deck that plays above the bracket. With what we are trying to do and how we can swarm the board. There are updates to be made. There are different things that I will be able to play this on Wednesday, so I'll give this a whirl, just to see how it operates, how it plays, maybe what we should switch out, what we should do differently. I like the base we have here. I think this is going to be very fun to play. But it is different from the original list we have here. Again, this was optimized at a 4. So we are definitely in a whole different bracket game, but we still have the same spirit of the deck. So honestly, I like what we built here. It is actually different from what I recorded the first time. I didn't have Plum in there. I didn't have Flare of Cultivation. I've switched things up just a little bit, but I do think it's gonna be fun to play, and that's what matters. As long as I have fun playing this deck. I want to thank you guys for the support. I also want to give a thank you to Realm of Bulch. Thank you to my friend David, who 3D printed me a deck box and gave it to me to use for this deck. So I'm super happy about that. Super excited to toss the Commander deck in here and play on Sunday. It's going to be a great time. Thank you guys for the support. I'm super happy I can make a long form video for you guys to check out and enjoy. And just so you can see like my thought process on adding different cards in, why I added in the certain cards, and that sort of thing. As always, guys, thank you for the support you continue to show me. Thank you for all the love. Until the next video, I'll catch you guys.